talk about the TV star Gino D'Acampo, who's been accused of making sexually inappropriate and aggressive comments to women he worked with over 14 years after an investigation by ITV News. There he is. D'Acampo's legal team stressed these complaints have never been made before and they were not made directly to him. Gino firmly denies the allegations. One woman told ITV News, though, he had explicitly described how he'd like to have sex with her. Other allegations include him commenting to a young female colleague about her breasts, opening the door to a female colleague wearing just his boxer shorts, and touching and commenting on his own groin, as well as threatening to sleep with a young colleague's girlfriend. This one's in crazy. If they didn't get him a Cornetto. He's asking as well, apparently, when they would all get drunk and have sex together. So he's a series of off-colour comments, dirty comments. Well, you go first on this. Saying if you don't get me a Cornetto, I'm going to sleep with your girlfriend is weird.
I mean, it's just grossly inappropriate, isn't it? I think there's sometimes, or maybe historically, been an element to which television stars have felt they operate in a different sphere to ordinary office workers. I mean, imagine if I do most of the time work in an office. If I said any of these to my colleagues, I'd be probably sacked for it. And I don't think...
Well, such as what? Let's just take one, for example.
The one about when are we all going to get drunk and have sex together? I mean, in any office job... That
would be like an announcement.
You wouldn't get away with that.
No.
So clearly there's been a cultural problem because, of course, I know all the provisos about Gino denying and everything, but this is not... We've had Greg Wallace, we've had Philip Schofield. There's clearly a wider cultural problem across TV. Now, obviously, this isn't... These are words. They're not... it's not attempted sexual assault, but even so, it strikes me there needs to be a very broad growing up and professionalisation of the television industry.
He's accused... I mean, some of the things he says are beyond the pale. In front of an entire crew of TV workers, D'Acampo allegedly told a young producer, and I won't read the words out, I would like to turn you over and blank you up the blank against the kitchen counter. I mean, that is aggressive, nasty, and sackable.
Absolutely. I think you touched it. If it was in any other department or any other sector, you'd be straight to HR. There would be all sorts. But it is a culture where we saw with, previous people that people felt that they could not complain because if they did, they would lose their jobs. And so that's what we're seeing now, is that people are hopefully feeling more confident about coming forward. And that I think we will see more because people are hopefully, as I say, getting more confident and will come forward.
So many, Greg Wallace, Greg Wallace's one got into serious stuff where his young biographer turns up and he says, what does he say? My trousers are under the cushion you're sitting on. And then he drops his towel to get his pants or something. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Jermaine Genus, quite nasty. He will defend this as it's all banter. That'll be the defence, won't it?
And it will, as Greg Wallace tried to, but I think we're not.
The only problem with that argument is maybe there are other examples, but all of these comments were made to younger, more junior members of staff. They weren't to his peers. So it seems to me there's also a power element,
absolutely.
a dominance element to this as well as... So I don't think it's not just banter. I mean, when I first heard the headline, I did think, I wonder if he's going to say, this is Italian. We're spicy, we're bubbly, we're romantic, but this isn't. This is clearly...
You look at the Spanish case at the moment involving the guy who grabbed and kissed a woman footballer, and you realise that some of these sort of continental countries, the sort of so-called, where men are supposedly hot-blooded, are actually getting more restrictive on bad behaviour than the Brits are. Now, ITV also found that at least one production company continued to work with D'Acampo, even though they were aware of the claims. this is often the case. You get a big company like ITV, it's putting the programmes out. It's not necessarily making them. It's asking a small production company to make the programmes. The small production company has TV freelancers, often young women, who work with this guy who's on a big contract. And there is this, what they call the omerta in the mafia, where everyone agrees not to say anything because they're in fear.
Absolutely.
And I think I can see how that happens. When it's a small production company, I think they do not want to suddenly take the wheels off the train.
No, there's the freelancers, there's a small production company. We're seeing all the media companies, or not all the media, a lot of media companies going under because things aren't getting commissioned. So it's high risk for them. They want that programme to still go ahead. So there has been that acceptance. But I think we can all just hope that there is a move now to go, that is not acceptable. This will not be tolerated in future.
OK, well, I mean, yeah, when you look at the individual things he said, it's not
foul
good at all.
So,
Yeah, foul is the word I was saying. After the break, we'll ask whether...